Hello and welcome here to Charlotte, North Carolina on a muggy day for some Saturday morning rugby. Nick Kloss, Dan Cook here with you for this one. Queens Royals taking on Long Island University Sharks. And Dan, it should be a good matchup. 2-2 for the Royals, 3-2 overall if you count that out of conference play. 1-2 for Long Island. Who do you want to look at today? What are some things, some key moments from both sides that we should keep our eyes out for?
Absolutely, and thank you for having us here, or me here today. There's great players on both sides of the field today. Obviously, the moist conditions, the wet's going to make the ball handling a little more difficult today, and so we're going to have to make sure that we are able to manage on both sides the ball maintaining position. I think some players to look at on both sides. We have a Sailor Russell who was in the U23 USA camp. Unfortunately, she was injured, and before they were able to play, so she was not able to get that cap with the team. But she is one to watch on the Long Island University side. Of course, here in Charlotte, our hometown, we have a few that we would like to keep a lookout on. Megan Friel, she is fantastic on defense, really attacks the space on the offense, and that's one to look at. We have Avery Kamara. This is her first game back. She had some injury earlier on, and we will see good things from her, I am sure. She makes a definite presence on the field, absolutely. We have Leah Price. She is a solid player, has always been a solid player, as we see her on the screen right now. Distributes the ball well, makes great decisions, reads the space, and attacks well. Likely. Also, I see Lily Separ coming off the bench at some point. She's always present. She doesn't get as much credit necessarily, but she is a fantastic player. Knowing her, having coached her in the past here in Charlotte, just really proud to see her out on that field. Lastly, we have Jay Stone. She's just fast. She's tall. They're fast. They get the ball, down the field. Great knowledge of the game.
So those are some players to look at as we are underway here in the Queen City. And Dan, you mentioned some coaching experience, coaching with the Charlotte Cardinals Youth Club, also an assistant over at UNC Charlotte as the Royals with the ball in hand moving up. There's Leah Price getting the first look at the fly half for the Royals. And Dan, you mentioned it. The wet conditions could be a factor. How could that change how you're playing and even how you coach throughout this match?
That's a great question. When I am coaching and when we're talking about wet conditions, you have to understand the hands get wet, the ball's wet, everything gets a little slippery. So what I would like to have my players do, let's play a little tighter. We're not going to distribute the ball as far as we otherwise would on a good, nice day. And we're going to make sure we watch the ball into the hands, squeeze the ball, and maintain possession. That's the key part of this sport.
See which team can do that today. Probably going to be the one who comes out on top as Queens nearing that goal line.
Absolutely, and there's some good support there by the Royals, maintaining possession into the ruck.
Off to a good early start. Couple rucks early between LIU and the Royals. Two top programs in college rugby. On the women's side, the Royals always near the top of that crop. Obviously, Michigan, one of the best teams in the country.
Yes, yep. And here we had a turnover as just a knock-on. It'll be a scrum to Long Island University. They are playing within their own 22, and we don't like to play typically in our own 22. It's you'd like to get this ball out of your territory and make them have to work a little harder and a little further for score if there is a turnover.
And Dan, here early now looking at really what is the first scrum of this match. Who would you say has the upper hand in this part of the game today?
I have seen Queens play just a little bit more than I have Long Island. They have a very strong scrum, good size, great strength, tend to get low. I will tell you the scrum that is lowest and most secure in their position will tend to win and maintain the position through the scrum process.
It's a battle to look at all day long, as it is in most rugby matches.
And you like to see these legs down in a nice squat position, maintaining that strength and just pushing forward.
Schmidt.
Oh, what a
Price going in. Touch, a try for the Royals.
What a fantastic run. You know, that player came through the space, attacked the space, and with a little footwork made the score.
Jay Stone playing fullback, but wearing that number 15 due to some changes in the roster, gets the try for the Royals, so an early lead for Queens at home.
Absolutely, and Jay has such a good view of the field and such a great understanding of this game, how to attack the space and find that, manipulating the defensive player out as she takes a step in and on the way through. Well done.
Conversion point off the bar will be no good. So now the question is, Dan, so Royals come out and obviously well executed. You have not seen Long Island into the other side of the field yet. So now, how does Long Island and the Sharks bounce back after that early score?
You know, that's a great question. Here's what needs to happen. Long Island needs to kick it high, deep, long, however they're going, whatever their strategy is. They need to attack, get down the field in defense now, and really try to stop Queens to force a turnover.
Still very early, but seeing the aggression and just positive plays from the Royals so far, as you see Avery Kimura, a captain for this Royals team.
Absolutely. You know, Long Island's good. They have good position. They're making their tackles, you know. Yes, Royals are making the gay line and pushing them back a bit, but they are having to work for it.
Long Island led by their hooker, Sophia Crowley.
Oh, what a fantastic play by Long Island's number 9. Into the tackle, the support was not there, and she was able to get the penalty while trying to jackal the ball.
So a penalty against the Royals, opportunity now for Long Island.
Correct, and for those that don't know, once the tackle is made, the tackler must roll away. The tacklee must release the ball. That gives the opposition time to compete for that ball, and if whoever is there first will typically seal the ruck and keep possession, or they will poach successfully or get the penalty for not releasing the ball, which is what occurred here.
So a penalty kick, or 3 points if it goes.
That's a fantastic strike. So what's key is that the play is still live. If the ball comes down to the side, the Royals can catch the ball and quite literally return it. It is not a dead play after the kick until it goes outside, out of bounds through the try-zone.
Which we saw there. Goes through the try-zone, just a little left. A good try, a good attempt overall on that kick. Got the high lofting ball. Also, weather can be a factor in that always. If it's not great kicking conditions, may not be conducive there. Lead still for the Royals, hopping on top of it.
Correct, and what we saw there was a drop 22. If the ball goes outside or past the try zone, the opposing team will have a drop 22 where they kick it from the 22-meter line off the drop kick. Unfortunately, it did deflect off a Long Island player, and we are back in that position. That was a penalty to Long Island University. Unfortunately, I did not see what the infringement was.
Penalty there, still sticking here. So after a quick 5-0 lead for the Royals, Long Island doing a good job of now keeping the Queens Royals on the defensive, not allowing them to impose their will. Because when they came out the Royals really just pushed down and got a quick try. Now you're seeing Long Island show what they can do on this line out right here.
Correct, and you're seeing people just settle into the game and settle into the structure that they're playing, and really just settling down and playing the game.
And that's another thing really we can look at, Dan, is as they're getting to know each other, these two teams, as some nice play running through Avery Kimura.
She's such a strong runner. When she gets the ball, she almost always makes the gain.
Mia Cruz, nice pass back. Going back to our first try scorer, Jay Stone.
Yes, what a fantastic run. They're catching the ball at pace, making the gain line. Unfortunately, we have a turnover there, but attacking at pace is critical. You know, you don't want to wait for the ball before you start the run. They start the run, they catch the ball at pace, and they're blowing through that line, that space, attacking well.
And Dan, approaching 10 minutes in, what's it like at the beginning of a rugby match? You mentioned that feeling out process. Are you just trying to understand the style of that other team, trying to make adjustments as you go, or what's that mindset early on in this feeling out process?
Well, if I go back to my playing days, it was you're testing the physicality. You're seeing what the other team has. If you're in possession, you are showing your physicality. You are showing what you can do, and it really is. It sets the tempo of the game, and so a lot of times the team that comes out stronger will just have a little advantage into the game. Now, often the opposing or other team will find their tempo as well and really settle in. They settle into pace, they settle into structure, they do what they're coached. There's a structure that most coaches will apply, whatever it is, and they start applying that.
Line out grabbed by Long Island.
Yes, unfortunately there was the ball came out of her hands forward, which is called a knock-on. That is the sign demonstrated by the referee at that time.
So we have another scrum.
Yes, and we have Salome at number 9. She's been on the U20 USA team. She's capped a few at that age, and she's showing great composure and ability in these settings.
Price makes her way upfield. Stone comes in for assistance.
That's correct.
Get the whistle. Long Island's going to take over.
So unfortunately, that's the second time we've seen this, and you'll see this penalty given usually because our supporting players are not there as quick as we would like them to seal the ball and set the ruck and establish the dominance and maintain the possession.
So not releasing called on the Royals.
Line out to LIU.
Line out to Long Island. Sharks trying to get back to 500 on the season.
So what we saw there is a channel. It is supposed to go straight. Oop. No, there was another infraction that we saw, and I'm not sure what she called. I apologize.
Violation. Gives it back to Long Island. Been keeping a lot of the possession lately as they'll switch sides of the field, push the Royals back into the defensive end. Here's Stone. Hands it off. Cruz.
Yeah, we're seeing really great low tackles by Long Island here, making good tackles, stopping the runners, trying to pick and go with the ball. It's fantastic defense by Long Island at this time.
And another infraction going against Queens, so a third straight, really pinning them back, hurting them really at this time.
Correct, and again, here we are. That was the third penalty that I've counted that we are holding onto the ball, not releasing, and more that is due to support not being there to seal the ruck, stabilize possession.
So Queens seeing the problem, needing that support on the ruck. Already 3 straight penalties harming them, as another penalty kick attempt here for Long Island. Gets good under it once again.
What a great strike.
Gets it through.
Slotted that ball right through the uprights, and there are 3 points to Long Island.
So 5-3 just like that. Royals came out and quickly imposed their will on the Sharks, but Long Island showed they're not going to go out of this game, and they can hang with the Queens Royals.
They can hang. They're showing that they're defensively, they're not afraid to make a tackle. They're not afraid to, get in there and bang it up, and that's impressive. I think right now the Royals really just need to connect and settle in as well.
You'll see that as this match goes on. Have another scrum.
From the LIU.
No one's really pulled themselves away yet as far as that scrum battle. We'll see that as this match goes on. Some Saturday morning rugby at Dixon Field, Charlotte, North Carolina. Nick Kloss, Dan Cook with you. The release and go for Long Island. Coming off a 19-18 loss against Navy up in Brookville, New York.
Unfortunately, we came in through the ruck and from the side, and that is a penalty. You cannot do that. Also, losing your feet will not gain you any points in that situation or either.
So, Dan, so far the penalties for the Royals starting to stack up. How do you change that right now? Also, do you think it might be, is that just sloppy play at times? You got to tighten those things up throughout a match?
Those are things you always have to tighten up through a match. Play gets sloppy. Our mind isn't necessarily there. We're not concentrating on the ball, getting into hand before we start running. There's a lot of just mental discipline. There's a lot of discipline in position, play, running, defense, and those really have to be ticking all together and to be successful out there against another more disciplined team.
Line out for LIU. Ruck gets blown up, coming the other way. Kayla Hodge started the play.
Great support from the Royals there, maintaining their possession. Good tackle.
Good run coming from the Royals. Sienna Phillips took it down. Long Island now trying to return it.
Great counter ruck, trying to disturb that breakdown.
Long Island continues to move. Finding some open space, brought down with a good tackle from Camilla Cruz.
That's just great line speed. Getting up into the face of the players with the ball possession and really making it tough for them to have to make a decision.
At 5-3 early, another call going against the Royals.
There's a fine line in clearing the ruck, maintaining and stabilizing the ruck. And if you lose your feet, you get the penalty. You have to maintain footwork and in a standing position. You cannot let your knees or arms go to ground, otherwise that is a penalty in that situation.
Turf could be a little slick. It is a wet morning here in Charlotte. Could be a factor we're seeing as still waiting to get started here again after the penalty.
I'm impressed. The Long Island folks running onto the ball. They are running at pace. They're catching it relatively flat at the gain line and allowing that momentum to bring them forward. The same with the Royals, you know, catching that ball at pace, catching it relatively flat and allowing that momentum to take them forward, even through good tackles. Sometimes the momentum will keep you going at least another 2 or 3 meters. When that's the case, the defending team still has to back up. So they are on the back foot is what we would say, having to prepare for defense or get into defensive position on an onside position.
So a shaken up player for Long Island. Loose head prop number 1 has to take a rest. Get a replacement for her and back underway after that.
Lineup to LIU.
Whistle as get a look at one of our 2 head coaches in this battle. For Long Island, it's Coach Joseph Rasmus Jr. And then you're quite familiar with the Queen's head coach.
Yes, Dana Meschisi. She has been a good friend of ours and just been around, and she and I have trained together a little bit. She's trying to get me into shape at times. She's helped with my own daughter and just training and whatnot. So very familiar with Dana. We love her, and she's family to us. So yeah.
Here with the Queens Royals, both men's and women's rugby programs, very talented and amongst the top in college rugby.
Yes, they are. We have a player down here. Unfortunately, we will have to see what's going on. You never like to see players going down, and we hope everything is okay.
See if they'll get up. That is Avery Kimura.
Avery Kimura, yes.
One of the captains on this Royals team. The tight lock position. Getting checked on by the trainers. Good to see her sitting up already, too.
Yes. And we hope everything's okay. I know she's just coming back from injury, and we'll just say our prayers for her.
Gets helped up.
All right, that's good to see. That's
so
good to see.
Putting some light weight on that left ankle. Definitely in some pain trying to walk it off. Might need to take a rest. We'll see if she has a substitution or anything. Definitely, she's holding that left knee.
Yeah, she is.
And
she is
she
struggling
tried
a little bit. I'll tell you what, probably best she just rested a little bit. Make sure we don't re-injure anything and make it a worse scenario in the long run.
And just to, as she gets a round of applause, as she gets helped off the field. But you saw also from her the type of competitor she is, because she came up from that injury, tried to walk on it a couple times. You saw the pain in her face. She looked like she gave it that last try and finally had to say, I'm going to need some help to get off the field.
Yeah, you know, I think in the heart of any rugby player, you want to be in the battle. You want to be competing, and, you know, we don't want to suit up and not get out there. And, you know, she is a ferocious competitor. She is a fantastic player, always present, and doing great things in her career. We hope that this is temporary and we can walk it off and get a little better here in a few minutes.
Won't see Kimura for at least the time being, possibly the rest of the match. Keep you updated as we know things here. The scrum for LIU.
What a great run. Good footwork. Really just dicing it up.
And Dan, when you're making a run like that one you just mentioned, what are you looking at as that runner? Are you trying to find the holes, break up, cut up? What's the thought? Or are you trying to go in, then make a good pass so you can keep that movement going for your team?
There's always a few rules to running. Since this is a continuous play sport, you really are. You're trying to attack space. You never want to really run into somebody. You'd rather attack around them. So you use your footwork and whatnot to break that gain line. The gain line is where the ball started. Once you break the gain line, you're always trying to go further. A caveat to getting out there and being so good and fast and whatnot is that sometimes you run away from your support. And if you run away from your support, they make a good tackle, but no one can seal the ruck or stabilize the possession. Sometimes you get a turnover as well.
Stone moving near side, has an opening, gets a try. Another 5 points for the Royals.
Stone, what an amazing player. They are just so fast. They can attack and just heads up all the time. A very impressive run right there. Absolutely great.
Two tries now for the Royals, both coming from Jay Stone, playing that fullback position.
And I've seen Jay for quite a while, with my daughter playing youth rugby. Jay came from the Raleigh area, and they were always just a stellar player, always a threat on the field. And it's just good to see them being as productive as they are and doing great things out on this field. Jay is a fantastic athlete and a fantastic player.
Seeing it here today, she has all 10 points for the Royals. Conversion point, no good on the attempt, coming from Leah Price. But now a 7-point lead for Long Island. And after that first try from Stone, Long Island and the Sharks, they responded with one penalty kick, but gonna need a little bit more to stay in here with the Royals.
That's correct. The Royals have had some mistakes and given some penalties, but boy, have they capitalized on those turnovers and maintaining what possession they do get.
Pinned all the way back here. Almost a bad turnover.
Yeah, I would like to see, if these were my players, I would like to see them kicking out of the 22. There's just no reason, in my opinion of the sport, to play down in that area. You get a turnover just like this, and now Long Island has 10 meters to make the try. So we really want to kick for possession, kick it out. And if you're speaking, comparing, American gridiron football, it's the same reason they punt on the fourth down. They don't want to give the team 30 meters or 30 yards to go for the touchdown. They want them to have to fight a lot longer. Thus, we have these punts.
To stay on that theme, you're basically giving them 4 downs in the red zone. So not what you want to do, usually trying to kick it away. They elect not to. Now playing goal line defense.
Oh, and now we have a turnover. That's great. That's a good turn of events for the Royals. And they kicked it forward.
They decided to take your advice right after. They said, hey, we did that wrong. We should kick it away. So you see there, kicked it away. It'll be a line out for LIU, but still you have just more room to work with.
Correct. And now, the LIU has 10, 15 more meters they're going to have to fight for to get that try. And that's the purpose of possession and territory.
LIU gets it over.
That's a fantastic grab from LIU as they start to move forward.
Working their way up.
They seem to be set in pretty good pod play. I think maintaining the possession at the level of the breakdown is the problem right now. If I see correctly, I believe the Royals have the possession at this time. So successfully stole that ball in that last breakdown for LIU.
It is Royals' possession, so they did cause a turnover. So now still working near that try line.
And that's the kick for possession.
Kick for possession, pushes it back, gives the Royals some more breathing room.
I said kick for territory. I apologize. Yeah. But yes.
Now LIU takes it back from the Royals.
Yeah.
Though the Sharks allow those 2 tries, they've seemed to bounce back. Their best rugby has been right after they've allowed the scores, those adjustments after, allowing Jay Stone those large runs.
Correct. Now, here's one of the issues. LIU is actually maintaining possession temporarily, and they have a nice seal or ruck formed. I think they only have one person committed to the ruck, and that is why the Royals are successfully counter-rucking and pushing that one rucker over the ball. So now LIU is losing the possession sometimes in those. Now, if the Royals go to ground, it's a penalty, losing their feet, and here we are, we're kicking for 3 points as a result of that penalty.
Sharks looking for another 3 points, trying to make this 10-6. Haven't had a try yet, but 1 for 2 on the penalty kicks. This one
that is successful.
Goes through.
Another 3 points to LIU. These penalties are adding up, and they can become a big deal in the final results.
The only points on the board for LIU, as I just mentioned, are those penalties. So you could have the Royals sitting at a 10-0 lead if they're maybe a little more disciplined. You mentioned on that ruck not having the support. That's been an issue we've seen here early from Queens.
And I'm sure the captains and the leaders on this team will manage that, and they will come together and fix these small details.
Still in the first half, so plenty of time to make the adjustments and everything.
So that penalty was not rolling away from the tackle. They made the tackle successful, but you have to get out of the way. You have to, remove yourself from that breakdown. So a successful kick. They made another 15 to 20 meters, and they will be getting the line out just on their side of the 50-meter line.
LIU just advancing up the field. Like you said, a good kick to get those 15 meters. Now the line out. They've been good here today. Not really good turnover caused by the Royals just ripping it out.
That was a great strip of the ball. You really have to protect the ball when running with it and moving forward.
Rogue pass from Jessica Goslin. Stays with Queens. Pushed out of the ruck.
And LIU is very successful on that line out. They've run that same line out a couple of times with that.
An opening. Andrade now at the bottom. A lot of support for the Royals. Get a whistle, and
it's a penalty for a high tackle there.
Penalty going against LIU, so now Queens taking advantage of that. Sal Schmidt to the ground. Not too far from the try line, the Royals. Pushing in. Jada Madeline. Good defense, press back, and now a penalty from the Royals stops all that momentum.
Unfortunately, same penalty, different place on the field. We really need to support and stabilize those rucks. You know, the game of rugby, I believe, my opinion, is won at the breakdown. If you can't maintain possession, you're just not going to be able to score as much as you'd like. Although we've capitalized for Queens a number of times on those few breakaways, we really need to solidify this breakdown and really connect as a sealing the ruck and maintaining that possession, staying in support. It's just critical for this game and for the success of this game.
And just like that, now the kick, and they've moved up a good chunk of meters already. The line out, you mentioned it. It had been really good for LIU with the way they'd been doing it. Queens is now noticing, and they're getting turnovers on the lineouts.
Yeah, I think Queens noticed and realized who the receiver is and who their favorite is, and challenged that ball and successfully did so.
Do have a yellow card there going against the Royals. Looks like Kayla Hotch will get it.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not sure what that penalty was, but if it's a continuous infringement or it renders the need for a yellow card from the ref, then that is unfortunate. That'll be 10 minutes in the sin bin.
10 minutes for Hotch.
There's that counter ruck from the Royals. They're so good at it.
Big hits coming from Queens on the counter ruck. Been successful with it today. Whistle looks like it's going to be a penalty against LIU. Gives it to the Royals.
Yes, these counter rucks are doing great things, getting great results for the Royals. I just hope they can convert and, get down the field and maintain support, and let's decrease those penalty counts.
Queens wants to keep that lead. That's going to be the name of the game. 2-2 on the season for the Queens Royals. Last win against Penn State, 26-20. Last Saturday up in University Park, Pennsylvania.
That's
now
a fantastic win for the team, for sure.
Big win for the Royals. Line out here for Queens, pushing the pile.
This is called a maul, so this is a designed play. It just gets your weight and momentum and strength, gets that ball moving down the field, and then we'll distribute the ball at the appropriate time.
Works well for Queens. Beating one is Shelby Tippin, another captain for the Royals.
You just have to love how she continues to drive those legs forward towards the try-zone. And here we have an unfortunate drop. That's just ball handling, and it should improve, we hope. Also maybe a result of the wet conditions and whatnot.
Knock on by Queens from
Pass was a little low, but you did mention it. The weather been a little wet, not too rainy here in Charlotte, but definitely a wet field. Ball's touched it a few times, so it could be some slippery passes. So we get a scrum for LIU. Broken up by Queens.
Now that's great pressure from Salome on the scrum half.
Forces them to kick it.
Yeah, really putting LIU on the back foot. LIU had a great clearance exit kick here, and gaining that territory to defend.
Other win for the Royals coming against Navy to start the season, 27-18.
Yes, Navy's such a strong program, and that was such a good win for them. The Royals just moving up to Division I. It's a big step. It's a big step. It's a lot, and they're showing that they can do it. It's going to take a little bit of time to get to a point where you are beating the top tier teams. But I'll tell you what, I'm pleased with what I see. I'm pleased with these athletes. It's good to see how well they're developing along, and their IQ and rugby skill is just significantly improved.
Gets around a corner. Camilla Cruz has the Royals back within striking distance. Last time Queens was in this area, a penalty pushed them back. And it seems like it happens again.
It did. I think that was hands in the ruck, and or she came off her feet, hands to ground. When the ruck is set, you just cannot put your hands down there. You cannot guide the ball back. It has to be rolled back with the foot or possession pushed over the ball or whatnot to get that ball into position. You cannot use your hands.
Line out to LIU.
Line out for LIU.
We're seeing a three-person line out here.
Some different personnel, I was going to say, for LIU. Changes it out, and this time successful after two. They had the previous two lineouts unsuccessful. Royals took it away.
Yes. Look, I like LIU running onto the ball. They're running at pace, and they're catching the ball relatively flat, so they have less space to make that gain line. They're doing quite well. Unfortunately for them, the line speed for the Royals is incredible. The Royals are rushing up on defense. They're not giving the LIU space to make a play, and they're actually pushing them backwards. From the point of the initial take, they're back 15 meters.
And now they take the ball back. Tippin powers through. Out of the ruck for the Royals. Up through Andrade.
There's the support. Fantastic.
And now a penalty against LIU. Quick go. Schmidt near the try line. Powering in. Price.
Fantastic score. Looks like Jess Goslin got the ball, did a pick and go, and made it through to the try zone. What a fantastic heads-up play by Jess. She is smart. I've known and seen her play for many years. Very smart to the game. Very high IQ in rugby. It's always a pleasure to watch her play.
Now another 5 to get to 15 for the Royals. 15-6 lead over Long Island. Looking for a conversion point here for the conversion kick. Tippin sets to take it.
You have to really appreciate, that score was set up 3-4 phases back with when the Royals stole the ball. They took possession. They then ran the ball, crashed it down the middle, maintaining that support, maintaining the ruck and possession of the ball, which really set them up 2, 3, 4 phases down the road for that try. If you don't have that support, you can't maintain possession. You just can't keep going forward, and that was a fantastic play.
So now, Dan, we're in the first. We played for some time. Royals playing very well, up 15-6. What do you want to see from Long Island now? How do you respond to this early lead for the Royals?
I think Long Island's needs to get a little more support into their ruck. They're actually showing great running. They're showing that they can attack the space. They really want to catch that ball a little more flat in the attack, so that they can make that gain line or break the gain line, maintain momentum. It may only be a meter, but if you do a meter 100 times, you're down the end to the field. Silly cliche that we say, but if you just go little by little, you're going to make the gain. If you make the gain, you will eventually score. That is critical, though. You have to maintain the possession to do so. If you don't maintain the possession. So I think for LIU, I think we need to commit more people to the ruck. Right now, the Royals are so good at the counter ruck. You really just need to put another 1 or even 2 people in there to secure that ball possession. And then you get the next phase. You get 3 phases, 4 phases, 5 phases.
What's the expression? You can't eat. How do you eat an elephant? A bite at a time?
1 bite at a time. That is correct.
If you can get a meter at a time, you'll eventually, like you said, get to the end of the field. So LIU yet to have a try in this match.
Oh,
good run here. Stone makes the tackle to halt the progress for LIU.
I believe that was Corey Fields. She has taken that ball a few times and made many meters on it. Fantastic running capacity coming from her. Very impressive. I hope to continue to see this from LIU going forward. Again, they have the capacity. I think if they can manage and maintain the possession, this game is a lot closer at this time.
So now a penalty kick coming once again for Long Island. This is where all their points have come. Luckily for them, they've actually been pretty good on the penalty kicks, 2 for 3.
This does set up a little more challenge as you go more lateral on the field. The angulation is just a little more difficult. This young lady, though, she seems to have a great strike of the ball. She has the distance, and we'll see what we can do.
Up and
wow.
Good again.
Fantastic. What a great kick.
She has been dialed in, 3 for 4 now on kicks. She's had all 9 of Long Island's points as both teams now going to head to the benches, and an early 15-9 lead now. Royals, you know, playing well, but Long Island staying in it. If they get some tries, I mean, they're right neck and neck with the Queens Royals.
I will tell you, if Long Island can maintain that possession at the breakdown, this game is much tighter. And the Royals will need to be a little more concerned on their play. I'd like to see both teams more connected right now, both in support and on offense. We have a lot of missed passes. We have not great, catches. We have not great passing coming from both. That can be a factor of the weather, the humidity, moisture, just difficult in general to handle the ball. But if that's the case, we get closer together. We don't have to make long passes. That's where I would focus at this time.
At the half, 15-9. These teams taking a break. We're going to take a break too here in the booth. We'll be back with more college rugby in Charlotte, North Carolina in just a bit.
A round of applause for the Queens dance team.
Just have a little break right now. I might be coming back earlier than I expected. Not like for the day, but I have some more time. I was saying I might come over there. It's okay if I come over there like around 2 o'clock. 1:30, 2 o'clock. Why you didn't wake up at the time I told you to wake up? Okay. All right. Love you.
Back in Charlotte for the second half of this match between Long Island University and the Queens Royals here at Dixon Field, 15-9. Queens leading. Nick Kloss and Dan Cook here with you for this one. Dan, Queens came out firing in that last one. Jay Stone with 2 good tries to open things up. All the points from Long Island have been penalty kicks, but they'll have to bounce back, probably get a few tries if they want to steal one here on the road.
That's right. You know, the Royals really capitalized on those possessions and were able to score fantastic. I think we're going to see a second half that's a little different. I think the coaches were able to talk to their athletes and really just kind of hone in on settling in and doing what they need to do. Just maintain the ball possession, handle the ball well, and moving forward. You know, if you can't catch the ball and you can't pass the ball, it's hard to maintain possession, and we just have a lot of scrums and turnover. So I think we're going to see both of these hopefully recalibrated at the halftime and moving forward and showing a good rugby here in the second half.
Scrum for LIU. Ball placed by Gina Police. Low pass. Moves it all the way back for LIU. Now Queens going right to left. LIU left to right.
And that's just an example of how important it is to get the ball out and distribute the ball well. And it is not easy with all the conditions we have today and the fact that the Royals are just really quick on their line speed and putting pressure on defense.
We did find out at the half, if you can't see it on your screen, it was hard for us to see as well. It is a light mist or sprinkle right now, which does add into the wet conditions that we already knew were on the field.
Oh, what a blistering run down there, making the gain, finding the pace. There's that support we're talking about. You can see 2 people in the ruck maintaining that possession. Fantastic.
Moving through, Jade Robinson. She was injured in that first half, now bouncing back here in the second.
She was, and wow, did she just keep just pounding those legs and moving forward.
Breaking through, a good run from the Sharks. Ty Sherman.
An unfortunate penalty and turnover there, but really good stuff from the Sharks at this time. Looking forward to this half and watching them continue their momentum.
Royals get a kick, move it up for the line out, round the official on the far side.
And what an excellent kick by Leah Price there, getting that additional territory in the field, less territory to have to attack, try to score down in the try line.
Officials discussing before the line out. Got it. Not the only rugby match we have today here at Dixon Field. Also the men's team for the Royals taking on Army at 7 p.m. tonight right here on Dixon Field. That should be another good one, as a lot of great rugby here in the Queen City.
Absolutely. You have two fantastic programs. Army is always tough. They're just a great group of athletes, and they have some fantastic rugby players as they recruit quite well.
Stone moves it outside, pass just out of reach. Bobbles through the hands of Andrade, and you see the smile there, excuse me. Correction on that, Megan Friel.
Yeah, again, back to the ball handling. You know, sometimes we'd say instead of making that pass, go to ground, take the tackle, and get to next phase. But, you know, it's a split decision. I mean, a split-second decision that you're making, and you don't always make those decisions. You know, and sometimes they're just hard. You're not what they're seeing on the field is definitely not what I'm seeing up here. You know, that goes back to the Monday morning quarterback, what I would have done, you know, and that's not fair to criticize at all either. So
it's a lot easier when we have this broadcast bird's eye view, can see the whole field.
100%. You know, these gals are going 100%. They're running as fast and making decisions while doing all of that in a contact sport. They're making decisions.
Line out, straight pass for the Royals.
That's a fantastic 5-meter in and planned play. Great movement of the ball and movement of the players.
Queens showing some nifty passing here in the second.
Oh, what
good
a great
run.
take.
Breaking through. Maggie Sweeney brought down, but a good run. Gives the Royals a lot of gain.
That was a fantastic take by Maggie. She's a hard runner. She can attack space really well. Great rugby IQ. Moving forward, let's keep the momentum going as the Royals. And in defense, you know, LIU just needs to get their line speed up and stop them in their tracks.
Ruck on the far side for the Royals. Moving through, Andrade. Kept free. Schmidt moves it. Another good pass for the Royals.
What a great offload, knowing where your players are, where your support is. They're able to just get the ball going down. Unfortunately, I think the ball was stripped from number 14, LIU, and Miss Corey Fields.
So now a penalty against Queens. Sigh of relief for the Sharks as pinned back near the try line in the try zone. They'll kick it out, gain some meters.
Absolutely. The stop of momentum was key for LIU. That was a great heads-up strip and stealing of the ball to stop that. That may have been a try-saving play right there.
Line out to LIU.
Line out. Taken by the Royals, stripped away by the Sharks, but a quick whistle stops the play. Queens now can take it back, set up that offense off the penalty.
Correct. I believe the LIU player was involved with the ruck. Once you're involved in the ruck, you cannot put your hands into play, and that's what happened.
Line out to Queens.
Moving up, Queens now back to the spot of that last penalty. They'll hopefully pick up where they left off.
And this puts the Royals in a fantastic position on the field for the line out here. The ball should come in, whether they distribute or decide to maul, that would be their decision. But what a fantastic position. Putting LIU on their heels and really needing to get aggressive in this defensive stand.
Good
There's
line
the
out
maul
from
that
the
we talked
Royals,
about.
and here's the maul. Pushing in. Great push from the Royals.
Fantastic play. That is textbook maul from that position of line out. What a fantastic result. Well deserved to the Royals.
Medellin should get credit for the try. Makes it 20-9. Get another
Try awarded to Queens.
conversion kick. You mentioned it earlier, Dan, but the angle on these kicks can really make them quite challenging, so probably a tough one for tipping here.
It's always tough coming from the further lateral to the middle of the field, and it's just, it just makes that that goalpost a lot narrower to slot. So definitely doable. We see it quite frequently. Just adds a little difficulty and complexity to the kick.
Kicks up. Had the line, just not enough on it. Drops in front, so a 20-9 lead for the Royals. Fourth try for them in this match. Stone with 2.
And you have to remember that play that was set up back with the initial penalty, getting the with the kick to the out of bounds or to the edge there on the penalty, making the space and being able to just drive it in from 5 meters out. That's a fantastic heads up play. But that was all set up 3-4 phases down previous to get to where we were.
LIU with the kick. Royals trying to capitalize a good day with a win. In the second frame, Dixon Field, Charlotte, North Carolina. A lot of action here at Dixon Field. There's a soccer game between the two rugby games. So you get a penalty there, and Queens is going to take the ball back.
Yes, they do. Again, not releasing, but from LIU this time. When you get tackled, you must release the ball. Again, Leah Price with such a fantastic kick. She has such a good foot and is able to get it down the field. Fortunately, it did not go out of bounds.
Takes it back. Price again had it, now to the far side for Queens. Good run, keeps the legs going.
Good heads-up play. You have Lily Separ there on the ruck, sealing it and maintaining possession. Fantastic play.
Claire Zapp churning the legs to move upfield through one. Andrade. Medellin tipping on the outside. Takes the tackle back up. Here's Stone. A good wrap up on the other side from Sailor Russell.
Good defense from LIU. Although Royals are making the gain and making momentum, they are up there. Their line speed is pretty good, and they're making tackles to stop the forward progression more than it otherwise could be. What a stunning
Continuing
run.
just to push upfield. The power of Queens. Too much at times for Long Island. Getting it across for Stone. Big hit between Stone and Sailor Russell once again. Two very talented players going at it.
Absolutely, and what we saw there, the ball came out of the ruck. Once the ball's behind the last foot or outside the ruck, it is open field, and so LIU recognized it, capitalized on it, and maintained and gained control of the ball. And here they are with possession, moving forward.
Penalty coming again against the Royals.
Yeah, there the ref is indicating that the Royals player came in from the side. You must come in from the back of the ruck if you're going to enter. You cannot come in from the side.
Royals making that violation. Another kick coming from Sophia Gaddis.
Sophia has such a good foot as well. She's really accurate. Fantastic kicking. Good territory gain there.
The fly half for the Sharks. 3 for 4 on penalty kicks today and taking all of the kicking duties, as you mentioned right there. She's got a great foot. Even the punt form and technique. Very dialed in for Gaddis. Line out one by LIU. They keep it.
What a fantastic run, gaining that momentum.
Queens
We have a
taking it
successful
back.
coach. Correct.
Madeline taking it back for Queens. Now coming out of the ruck. Tries to do a quick handoff. Off of the hands of Zapp.
Yeah, that's called a switch play. You know, the outside players just switching in behind the inside and trying to get that inside angle, attacking space. Sometimes the timing's just not there, though.
Royals try to break up the ruck, which they've done fairly well in this match.
Yeah, their counter ruck skill is very good. It's very good, and LIU, they're committing more people to the ruck and maintaining that possession. What a blistering run we see here.
Great run. LIU starting to give Queens a taste of their medicine, but taken back by Andrade.
That was a great steal from the breakdown.
And Dan, it just seems like up front, you're seeing from LIU right now, they're playing very well. Queens now switching the sides to push them back, but it seems like up front, the Royals have the advantage here today.
Yeah, they do. They seem to be running with a little bit more structure, and they seem to be making the gain and breaking and attacking that space a little bit better. With that being said, LIU is very effective when they have the ball, and when they run the ball, they make the gain most of the time. It's only when the ball possession and handling gets a little sloppy that we start moving backwards for both teams.
Royals have poached the ball a couple of times, as you just saw from Medellin, but they've caused some turnovers, kept some points off the boards from LIU. Ruck started by Schmidt. Stone to the outside.
And that's a
Cruz
great
and
step
Stone.
in to avoid from being pushed out of bounds and losing possession to the other team. You always, when you get to the edge, which is otherwise known as the out of bounds, you get to the edge, you need to step back in. If you go out of bounds with the ball, it's just a turnover. Never benefits to go out.
Leah Price, fly half for the Royals. Takes it off the penalty that was going against LIU. These players are going to take a knee. could have an injury on the field or getting some water. Both teams take a break though, so, and we do see the injury right there. That's Tati Price walking off, one of the players who was listed as a reserve stepping into the starting lineup today.
She was. Unfortunately, Maddie Hughes was not able to make the starting lineup, so Tati moved into the wing position and started. It's fantastic. You know, she's a young lady. I saw down in Florida playing, and right, it was her senior year. She had just committed to Queens, and she is such a great physical player. She's so fast. It's fun to watch Tati play. She is fantastic, and it's been fun to watch her, you know, since I initially saw her. I became familiar just because Dana was down at the Coach Dana was down at the tournament and just said, hey, you know, I think this is one of my players. And we see a lot of these players in and around at sevens tournaments and in other major tournaments where they're playing not necessarily with their high school but maybe academy teams and whatnot. And Tati's always been one to watch and just fantastic skill set.
We talked about it before, rugby, pretty tight-knit community, especially in the region, because like we talked about, you know, not the hugest sport, growing in the United States though, becoming more and more popular, and the college level you're seeing better and better teams.
Absolutely. You know, it's still a fringe sport. Of course, I'm biased in everything I say about rugby. I think it's the best culture of a sport. I think there are few cultures where you can literally go to battle and after the game you have food and drink together and celebrate each other. You know, watching the high school players as they develop. You know, some of my daughter's best friends are people she plays against and that tackle her the hardest, and and then they're hugging at the end of the game, and so the culture of rugby is fantastic.
Great community in the sport. Royals pushing Long Island back, coming out of a ruck.
Another fantastic maul off the line out, setting up this, committing the defense of LIU, bringing LIU defense in and exploiting the space on the way out. That was fantastic. Leah Price identified the space, attacked the space, and I'll tell you, she is a force, and it is just fun to watch her play as well. I've had the opportunity for her to get to know her with a number of the other gals local that maybe I've coached, and they've come around. Just an awesome person all around.
Price gets the try to make it 25-9. Great run going through LIU. Gets the conversion kick. Bounces it straight through.
She drops the drop kick. You know, in 15s, traditionally you're kicking off a tee. But, you know, she's good enough at the drop and she's accurate enough. Why not? Let's do it. It just has to be scored, right? So whether it's a drop or off the tee, fantastic kick, Leah. Great
and you
job.
see there the energy from the Royals and Price, getting it now to a 27-9 lead. You can tell they're feeling comfortable playing some good rugby here Saturday morning.
Yeah, and you see the Royals, they're starting to connect. They really are in support and just overall their mechanism of moving down the field and connecting on defense, offense, all the sorts. You really see it coming through right now. That was a great kick. You know, unfortunately, it came forward off the LIU's hands, and it's a knock-on, so it's a turnover off the first knock. Play was stopped off the second knock coming off the Royals' hands, so we'll go back to the original and first infringement off the hands as a knock-on.
Now a scrum for the Royals. Sal Schmidt to place it. Moving. Back for Price. Here's Stone.
Good offload back to Salome. Salome, good offload to 14. That's fantastic rugby. That's what we like to see.
Great movement from the Royals. Just like that. Moving to the other side of the field. Almost lose it, but keep it in their possession. And as I'm saying, it nearly slips out, and now LIU takes over.
Yes, and what we saw there was just good support. The runner had the ball, the people were behind the runner supporting them. Good offload opportunity, maintaining the momentum and the downfield play, or forward play, I should say.
Stone, quick move.
That's really good hands from our wing, who gobbled that ball up and maintained position without knocking it on. I think unfortunately that was a forward pass. And in rugby, you cannot pass it forward. Must be straight lateral or backwards.
No forward passes. Penalty called. So both teams also getting some waters. We do have an injury on the field. Look to the left of your screen. Player for Long Island down. Can't quite see who it is just yet. We'll confirm that the moment we can.
Always unfortunate to see someone go down in a game. You know, you never want to see injury upon these players. It is a contact sport, unfortunately, and you're running for a long time, so sometimes your fatigue will put you in positions that get you easily, or not easily, but hurt more frequently. And we hope that is not the case, and if so, it's just a mild bruise.
And how much does that conditioning really go into having, a great rugby team being able to run the length of the field and be in these scrums and the rucks for this long amount of time?
You have to be fit. You have to be very fit to play this game at a higher level. It's just a mandatory. I mean, to play any sport at any high level, you have to be fit. But, it's nonstop. You don't get to recuperate between whistles and whatnot. When there's an injury or when there's a penalty, when there's a scrum, you get a few seconds, maybe 30 seconds of recovery. But in general, it's a different type of fitness than, say, explosive sports such as gridiron. And so fitness is critical. If you can't keep running and you can't maintain support and where you're playing the game, and you're hitting the ground and you're jumping back up, you're rolling away, you're jumping back up, you're hitting it's just over and over and over. Mm-hmm. It's not just a physical running conditioning either. It is a strength. You have to be able to push yourself up and really just keep on going, and you grind and you grind and you grind. Eventually, there's a penalty or a turnover or a scrum or something, and you get to recover for a short time. But no, it's conditioning is massive in this sport for sure.
And it's the different types, like you said, of conditioning, because there's one thing for cardiovascular when you're running and you have to catch your breath, or you feel, I know the people who are out of shape understand when you're running and your chest feels like it's about to explode. And then also resistance training, where your muscles have to be used to being in a scrum, going from running, pushing your legs in that way, to then in a scrum, you're in a squat position, your hamstrings have that much tension on you. So you really have to be fit in every sense of the word.
Yeah, strength is a massive part of this sport, and physically strong with the capacity of conditioning to be able to maintain that strength and maintain the force and contact that's required of this sport. Yeah, absolutely. It's a different fitness. There's a reason, rugby players look the way they do, because they don't need to bench 500 pounds. They need to be able to tackle, but they also need to be able to keep running. So it's just a different physique, a different type of conditioning. Yes, explosive, and yes, you'll see players that are fantastically built, and but it's just a different type of fitness and strength of conditioning than a lot of other sports.
That's Manaya Boyd, the blindside flanker for LIU getting helped off. Looks like she's favoring that right ankle, so the left getting a little shaken up, but helped off by the trainer. Hope she recovers quick, nothing too serious.
Yeah, hopefully this is something we can just kind of walk off, put some ice on, and maybe return. But, you know, we always hope that these are just minor injuries, and they do happen. They happen all the time, and it's also what makes, you know, rugby players kind of puts them into their own grouping. There's a difference between injured and hurt, and sometimes you may be hurt, but have to play. Injury, you need to get off and make sure you don't damage yourself for the long term.
So a scrum now for LIU. 27-9, the lead for Queens for their third win of the year. Played back.
Really impressed with Jess Goslin. That's the flanker that came up, really disrupted that 8-man 9 and scrum half from getting that ball, really disrupting the play, and that was fantastic. She is such a grinder. She is such a fantastic athlete, and she's so smart, heads up in this game. It's very fun to watch her play and do her thing.
Approaching 23 minutes. Gone by in this second frame. Kick goes out for a line out for LIU. Gains some territory.
That's a fantastic kick, and they'll be set up for a line out here. You know, in the line outs, the team throwing the ball will determine how many people you have to commit into the line out. And once they do that, the opposing team will match. So at this point, it's a 3-person line out. Royals will need to bring 3 people in.
Successful for LIU. Polly's brought down.
Yeah, the Royals really need to be careful in that scrum right there, or not the scrum, the ruck, that they do not get their hands on the ball once engaged in the ruck. That could be called for a penalty.
Pushing up.
That
Billy
was fantastic.
Bonji. Taken back by Tippett. Queens going the other way.
Oh, what a blistering run.
Michaela Hall.
Fantastic, hitting the space. Oh,
taken back by LIU.
Yeah, unfortunate handling there. Again, wet ball, wet time. Going to kick for territory.
Blocked by Queens. Keeps it right here. They win the ruck. Going for yet another try.
That was a great run.
Currently leading 27-9. Tippin, Hall, through, just short. Finally through, and a try for the Royals. They'll make it 32-9.
What a fantastic run that was. What a fantastic setting of plays and breakdowns. You know, that was all set up by Michaela Hall with her fantastic running, just barreling that ball down the field, making that yard or the meters and the territory, setting up for that try. What a fantastic grouping of plays and support.
32-9 now. We'll have the conversion kick for a possible extra 2 points. Up and just off the mark, so no points there, but still a very successful day for the Queens Royals.
Absolutely. We're watching the Royals really just start to connect, and they're doing a great job the second half. I knew they would make the adjustments needed. And you're just seeing these really strong runners set these scoring opportunities up. And wow, Michaela Hall, fantastic on that. And everybody who is running in support, maintaining the possession. Yeah, absolutely.
Great job by Queens today. Long Island being held to just penalty kicks right now for 9 total points.
And you have to give credit, I believe, to Jada Medellin, who also had just a crashing run through the space, fending off players. What a great game for the both of them.
Michaela Hall, also you mentioned, she's reserve, had a great run as well. Queens been running well all match, but really in this second half have shown what they can do. As one of the trainers going to come out and check on an injured LIU player, Maya Melito. Down on one knee there. Queens Royals going to talk things over as well with the free time.
This is just a good time where the captains say, hey, let's keep the foot on the pedal. Let's just keep rolling them backwards. Let's do our thing. Let's find our spot, and we'll keep moving forward.
Melito gets up on her own power.
It's always good to see. We'd like to see her back in the game. Hopefully this is temporary as well.
The final score is 32 Queens, 9 LIU.
So 32-9. We might be all said and done here from Charlotte.
Rugby and Queens Athletics, we would like to thank you for
So finishing things off,
we would like to invite you to follow along.
it's 32-9.
In the NYRA postseason pathway through the rest of
Queens
the
are going to get the win here, so that's going to be it from here. But Dan, what do you think of the Royals today, taking down Long Island 32-9?
You know, it was a great game. I think we all started slow. I think, just getting settled in and executing the game plan. I think once ball handling improved, the Royals were able to show what they have and show their structure and show their line of running and able to attack that space. It's fantastic sport. This was a great match. I feel LIU actually did a fantastic job too. I think the score otherwise shows a little different story, but I think they competed the entire game. They did quite well. They were good on the defense. I think ball handling on both sides was probably the main game changer in this one, in the second half.
So from here in Charlotte, final score 32-9. Queens taking down Long Island University. We appreciate you so much for watching. Dan Cook, Nick Kloss with you for this one. Thanks for watching. We got more rugby this afternoon as the men's team takes on Army right here at Dixon Field. So tune in. Queens takes down LIU 32-9 here in Charlotte. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.